Hello everybody, hope you've had an amazing weekend so far. It is your boy Trix, and today we're going to be doing some more of beta testing go. Sorry that this is a bit early in the day. Normally I stream after 5 o'clock. I have to do some stuff later on today, so I won't be able to stream from 5 o'clock onwards. I'll be streaming from around 4 o'clock till 5, and then from 5 o'clock I need to do some stuff, so on and so forth. But yeah, we're going to be moving our streams up by an hour just so I can get some more stuff done in the day. But besides that, everything else should be about the same. So let me just get into my boot work directory. There we are. Sorry, just a bit tired. Let me. Ah, damn, hang on. I don't know if I get pulled. Oh, it did. There we go, that's fine. I was literally asking these questions earlier. Cool, so let's run that. I need to source my .env. Source. It's. There we go. I knew that. For people that haven't seen that, that's Atwin. It's kind of like McFly, but it makes your shell history an SQ-like database, so that you're able to just find things very easily. So normally with your when you do Control R, you can just back search your whole history of what you run in your terminal. This just lets you see everything I've ever done, right? So it just shows, well, me trying to install FreeTube and other stuff and like setting my monitors and stuff. But you can do something similar with Atwin where you can also switch modes. So if I do this tab, oh no, it's because I'm on a massive monitor. I'm on a small monitor. I mean, if I were to basically there's global and then you can do like you can change the mode to be like, oh, you want to only see what's on your host, what's in the session that you're currently started, what's in the directory that you've been doing, and then global is just everything you've ever seen. It's really useful. I do recommend it for people that use shell history all the time. Well, I do, just because I do it all the time. It helps with not having to remember, oh, I need to run this specific git command to do this thing, or oh, I know I need to run this like Gradle task. What was that Gradle task format again? I know it has like test and integration test, but I don't remember how it's spelled or like the casing on that, and I don't really want to have to mess with, oh, I've written it wrong. Let's try running it and then changing the formats every time I want to see if it works. Ooh, that was weird. Let me just try that again. Oh. Hang on. Let me let this terminal load. It's because I got my shell thing boot script, so it loads slow. If I do a which Python, I think that opens it in the same. No. Let me just into my directory. I want to grab this one. Then again, I want to do a directory one, and I want to do this one. Just need to run the server. Yep, there we go. I think if I do Control 1, it'll take me to the first tab. No. Control 1? No. Alt 1? No. Control Shift 1? There we go. Where's terms default key binding is always funky. Then when I run the Selenium test, it should boot into the browser, open up the web page, and it won't have a connection refused. Yeah, to do this, there we go. Oh, it says it here, sick. What was I using to edit in here? HX, okay. Can I minimize this? I really want to... Damn, okay, fine. Oh man. It does this weird stuff. No, it's done some extra stuff. Fine, fine. Okay, there we go. It's word change, right? There we are. There we are. Then we've got a setup, a teardown. Then in here, you get the browser, you assert the title, then, oh god, okay. Then you've got a header text. Whoops, can't spell. Browser dot. I always find it fun that I can type faster than my ASP sometimes. That works. One sec, I just need to turn on the light. There we go. Can't even see anything there. Then she's invited to infer something. Okay. Oh, whoops. I should really change the layout on my keyboard. You know what? Let me just. Mason 2 Python update. Install. And then I need to debug Raptor, don't I? JS, Rust, C++, Dart, debug Pi. Why don't I have Java language server installed? Interesting. Okay, 4. I need an linter. Update. Update. Struggling. Definitely struggling. There's Pylint. Then 5 for formatters. Let me update. Black. I don't think I need autoflake. Let me just go to one. What's on here? That's why I don't have JLS. Okay. Fair enough. I just need commit lint and the other ones to finish. Okay. I do miss using U of M. Also because Helix is a pain with the keybinds. Normal Helix keybinds are like painful still, but I do prefer them keybinds. And then Emacs is just everything's on a modifier. If Emacs didn't have to use modifiers for everything, I would not be bothered by Emacs. It is slow, and I do always say I hate Emacs because it's slow. But at least like you can deal with the slowness. With the modifiers, it's just like I don't want to always hit a modifier key and then a command, wait for something to happen to know what keys I need to write. I'd rather just do them where, okay, cool, I know what I can write. There's only like once or twice where I'm like, okay, cool, I haven't used this thing in a long while. How do I do this again? And that's about it. Like when I need a shell and I'm like, ew, don't remember how to do that. That's what I need to do. It's capital X to uninstall. Well, actually, if I do it in meeting, I think it just won't pop up. No. Capital X? Capital X? No. X? No. It's not a capital U. D? R? D? No. Don't know. Maybe I just need to kick out and kick back in? Yeah, I just need to kick out and kick back in. Let's have a look. I wonder actually, do I have new items in here? No, don't. Oh well, whatever. I think it's Control N. Yeah. Ooh. What's that? It's LSP, isn't it? Let's try removing that. And then Python? Yeah. Let's try Jedi, maybe. Maybe Jedi will work. I don't know. Because my linter should work. I have used black to format files outside of Vim, so it should be able to adapt to it. It's just my language server that I think is broken, which should be okay, even if it is. Just watching it go. Let's have a look. I also did break some Python packages, like I broke arender a while ago. Don't know why it's written in Python. I would have really appreciated if arender was written in like Qt or something, but it broke it. So let's see. Let's have a look. Yep, cool. LSP's working now. That was annoying as hell. Ugh. Was that too fast? Yep, it was too fast. Dot send keys. Oh. When you have good LSP, it feels amazing. Sorry, I know lots of people like don't like LSP, and for people that don't do like LSP and have never heard that before, yes, some people do not like LSP, and it's completely valid. Some people don't like it just because they feel like when they use LSP, they don't remember certain things about the language that they're writing in. But when you've never written something before, an LSP is very, very nice to like get from A to B very easily. Rows, and elements. Whoops, by tag name, and then select whoops, true. Any text equals. I really hate that Python lets you do this. Can't even spell. Whoops, I can't spell. There we go. There we go. So let's just have a look at this. What's it complaining about? So, yeah. So in here, it's complaining about this line over here. Why? Space K? No. Space D? Fuck. Oh, that's why it's complaining. Okay. And then this one is same thing, right? Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I don't really care about line length. There we go. Let me just read over this that I haven't done anything wrong. Set in header text, find element, tag name h1, text, assert header text, okay, input, find element by ID, ID new name, new item, set equal input box, get attribute placeholder, enter to do item. Then we've got send keys by peacock feathers, then enter time sleep for 1, then ID list table by finding an element, then find all elements with a row tag, then assert that any of the rows have a by peacock feathers in them for each row in row, and then fail test. The only thing I really don't like about this is this double equals. It should be a dot equals on that row dot text. Or double equal. Oh, what was it again? I always get this wrong whenever I say it. Java string dot equals versus one's equality and one's one compares the actual contents of them. The other one compares the reference. Yeah, dot equals compares contents. Double equals checks the references of the objects. I don't like this because that means you can't check reference. You can only check by content. Well, this is supposed to be a check for reference, but it's doing a check by content, which is annoying. So whenever you go to another language, always check what it does. Because some languages work the opposite way, where your dot equals checks for reference, your double equals checks by content. There we go. It starts up. Here it runs. It's going to fail because there's no H1. Failed because no search element exception 922. Using value, execute. Unable to locate element H1. There we go. It's just that their output looks a little different to mine. There we go. Message unable to locate H1 for documentation. On this error, please visit this link. Yeah. Cool, so if I run a... It should work because all manage.py does is just test that your code works correctly. It doesn't actually interfere with your running server. So if I go back to 2... Oh, did not do that. I'll do? No, Control Shift 2? No. It's Alt Shift 2? No. Alt 2? No. Command 2 will take me to somewhere else. Control 2 doesn't do that. Shift. Hang on. Control Shift 1 takes me to first tag. So if I open up 3, what's going to happen? Control Shift 1 doesn't do anything. Control Shift 3 does, right? And Control Shift 2 doesn't take me there. Why does 2 not have precedence there? That's weird. For context, I use ResTime at work, but I don't do the tabs with ResTime. I do the tabs with Zellige, because Zellige just makes everything a lot nicer to do. I can probably boot up Zellige now, and you'll probably see what I mean. It's just like Tmux. It's just Tmux, but a little nicer. So if I don't even know if I have HTML installed in this. List. God, I don't even have a template. Oh. No, that's not what I want. Templates, home.html. Home.html. There we go. Oh, apparently I have snippets. Okay. Title. Whoops. If I have v0 www x request and then one.html. Whoops, can't even spell HTML. And then I don't need whoops. Don't need this. Can do that. By the way, I have done Django before. It's just been... When was the last time I used Django? Back when I was in sixth form and I was 16. So I'm 22 right now. So about 6 years ago was when I first used Django. The last time I used Django was 6 years ago. Jesus, I feel old. The language was very... I think things are very similar. It's just like some methods are a little nicer just because you've got a lot more web frameworks that like do things a lot nicer for you. So that's okay. Just interesting. Python managed to by test. That's fine. So let's have a look at this traceback. So this is saying it's trying to get the root. And it's saying that template does not exist. Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying, but you gotta do it. So I remember this being annoying when I was doing Django as well. In not that one. It's in this one, then in this one. Yeah. Then in installed apps, so let's go to line 38J. Then down here you need to add lists. Because even though you've made it and you said it's gonna be an app, is not registered as an app. So it could still use your code. It just doesn't know about any templates that you have in your app. So it'll fail. Yeah. Oh god, why is that? Title, to-do list, / title. Set contents. Hang on. So response title, to-do list title. Yeah. Yeah. That should work. Oh, yeah, that's supposed to do this thing. And here, does it look different? To-do list, right? But in here, I have to-do lists. Is it supposed to be list or lists? Lists. There we go. If I tab in there, I think I can do it. Then I think it's closing brace? No. Open brace does that. If I do this one, does that as well. Same thing. They do the same thing. B, this. And then manage.py should work. Yeah. Cool. So then. Oh yeah, I added this a while ago. I don't know if I told you guys about it. I have it that whenever I open up new of them, it'll always spawn with a different what's it called? It'll always spawn with a different banner. That was fun. Got to write some nice lure to do that. Response self.get. Oh yeah, it wants a. There we go. Blank line at the end of the file. There you go. I'm pretty sure it's blank, mate. It's blank. God. Does it not want a blank line? It doesn't want a blank line. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh god, this reminds me of when I was doing something at work. And like genuinely, I was touching like, I don't know, 100 files on a refactor because I had to move something. And like something, I moved something, didn't notice what I broke because like I was just moving a ton of files, right? And then my PR was just like always failing on builds. And I was like, why? My tests were failing. And I was like, all I did was move files. Like, I had to copy some stuff over to get it working, but it should just work. Everything's still the same. Like I left some code in the old place, but it should just be able to do those things, right? Everything that's relying on the code that I've moved just works. Then it was like at some point I had to move like 10 files at a time just to make sure, like as I'm doing it and opening PRs and like merging them in, that I'm not messing anything up, that I can like narrow it down. And I had to have a senior dev just look at it with me and be like, yeah, that's funky. And then we were just moving it together, and we were like, and at one point we moved like 3 files, ran the test, and things were breaking, and we were just like, that's funky. Why is it breaking on this? And it was like, oh, I genuinely like had a bug where I missed something, but because you're refactoring, like moving stuff all the time, and you're testing and you're moving prod stuff at the same time, it's like, oh, you don't actually notice what's breaking because like tons of things are broken, but you touch so many things, you have no idea what you did. Always do things in small increments. Refactoring cat. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've definitely done that. Oh, cool. So it should say near the end that I can't find ID equals ID new item. Ah, spelling is always great. Always. Also, my LSP sucks for not telling me that beforehand. Oh, there must be an assert int in Python that lets you do that, but it shouldn't, because Python uses dynamic types. It probably couldn't tell me that I'm asserting against a string. No such element. ID new item. There we go. There we go. Enter a to-do item. I think I can do... Nope. Come on. And it says, cannot find ID list table. String this way, then table where I need to provide it an ID of ID list table. False is not true. Yeah, you get that sometimes in... You get that in, what's it called? You get that in JUnit as well, where it's like, false, not true. Where it's like, okay, is this supposed to be false or true? And you got a debug to be like, oh, it's saying it's false when it's supposed to be true. Where is it? It's 40. Then, whoops, it's over here. Then it needs a comma and a whoops. Need to do item with not in table. There we go. Whoops. DW, DW, DW. Functional tests. Let's see what it does. Ooh, that looks like a Scally. It's really cool. I do recommend using Excalibur if you like haven't, if you need to make designs that don't need to be like really complicated. If they need to be like proper architecture designs, go with Draw.io. It's like one of the best tools I've used so far. There's also Visual Paradigm, but that's more like enterprise. I used Visual Paradigm when I was at uni, but if you don't need all of those features, you could just use Draw.io. And then if you don't need to like that high level of a design, you just want to get something out of your brain quickly, just, oh, you know it's supposed to hook together like this, you don't know what the relationship should be like and stuff like that, and you're not that worried about normal UML stuff, where you're worrying about object patterns, relational models, stuff like that. You just want to say this thing should connect to this way in like an abstract way. I would say use Draw.io. You can also do, I think it's D4 diagrams. I had to do them the other day. I forgot what they're called. It's D1 or D4 diagrams. D4 diagrams. No, C4 diagrams. There we go. C4 diagrams are also clutch if you wanna design something not using UML, but you still wanna have like the components of it show how it hooks together. So if I show a decent one, I think a good one will probably be this. Yeah, this one's a pretty good one, where you have customer linking to a web app, single page app, mobile app, API, database, banking system, and email system. It just shows how, in like a high abstract point of view, how something will interact with another thing without having to get into the nitty gritty of this needs to do this and these are the specific things that will happen afterwards. Kind of like with the sequence diagram where you need to know the complete flow. This is really useful when you don't need a sequence diagram, but you want to kind of show the flow of everything. Sequence diagram is better when you want to show continuous flow from start to end and you just want to represent it to someone. If you know it's already implemented, I'd say go with the sequence diagram. If it hasn't been implemented yet, I'd say use Excalidraw or use C4 diagrams. If you've implemented something, I think sequence diagrams and UML diagrams are a lot easier to use to explain how things are connecting together. If they aren't implemented yet, I'd say C4 diagrams and Excalidraw are a lot better at getting that point across. Because if you haven't implemented yet, because things are going to change, it's a lot easier to say, oh, this thing will hook into here and we want it to do this. So you have Excalidraw to just like get the sketch out and then you use a C4 to just explain, oh, this is how I think everything can hook together. Where you're not talking about like classes, methods, and that stuff. You're just saying this component will do this, this other component will do this, this system, this will contact this system, that type of stuff. When you actually got the flow down and you need to explain to someone like in onboarding or someone external that, oh, this is what the flow will look like, a sequence diagram, class diagram, flow diagram, those ones, the big UML diagrams that lots of people have probably come across, like a class diagram, a sequence diagram I recommend a lot. Those are probably going to be the most useful ones that someone will want to see. Same thing with like a database. A database, you will probably want to represent with like an entity relationship diagram, like an ERD, instead of doing a C4. Because for a database, you're not contacting external services. Yes, an external service could contact you, but for just like how you're going to lay out components or how tables or data should be structured, an ERD is a lot better, right? I'm not saying you should use a C4 for everything, but if it's like there's multiple systems at play, there's multiple things that hook into each other and need to connect together, a C4 is really good. And then for sketching, just Excalidraw is king. Again, you can do everything in Draw.io though. You can do sketching in, I just recommend sketching, Excalidraw. You want to get proper architecture diagrams out, C4s, ERDs, class diagrams, sequence diagrams, flowcharts, whatever, go with Draw.io. Even then, if you need a flowchart, you could probably do it in Excalidraw. I think for class diagrams, sequence diagrams, and ERDs, stick with Draw.io. You don't need to use Visual Paradigm. Cool. So that's chapter 4 done. Part 5. Let me just go to here. For some reason, I have OnClick working on Linux, but I don't have OnClick working in macOS, which is very annoying. So I have to copy paste in macOS whenever I want to actually do something. There we are. So if I take a look, just a lot of nice stuff in here. By the way, the only reason why I'm doing proper git flow now is because my brother is also going through this book just personally by himself, and his git history got messed up at one point, and I was like, oh, if you use like proper git flow, you don't have to worry about your you don't have to, what's it called? You don't have to worry about your git history getting messed up. All of your branch could still be messed up, but you'll still have your pull request to show, oh, this is what I did at this point in time and stuff. So I have my first commit, second commit, third commit. This one I think I did chapter 2 and 3 together, but it's very useful just having everything on in a branch that you know if something does happen, you've got a backup of everything to show that you still got your work. Lots of people probably that look at your repo and see that you don't have a lot of commits probably won't check your PRs anyway, but just to show that, oh, in your history you do have PRs there to say it happened on this PR, they can just click on it and say, okay, cool, they've got PRs. What other PRs do they have open? Oh, they had like 20 or 30 PRs open. Probably their git history just got messed up. Probably did all the work, right? Anyway, I'm going to call it there for today, as I don't think I'm going to get through chapter 5 in the next 5 minutes. But I'll catch you tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.